Welcome everybody, and today my name is Kaila Mayho, and we are going to go over another Udemy Java coding example called Numbers to Words. Now, what we're going to do first is read through the question, kind of try to understand what we need to do, then sit there and code it there on the right hand side. As you guys can see, I already created the methods that we're going to use, but in terms of further coding, we'll figure it out after we read the question. So let's get started. Write a method called number to words with one int parameter named number. The method should print out the passed number using words for the digit. If the number is negative, print invalid value. So just right there, the first three lines, we know that we're going to create a method called int number, which we did here. We know that it's supposed to print out or passing the number in the word form. That's how we know it's void. Now we're gonna take the step here and add an invalid option since it was red there on the third line. And again, an invalid option, for people that don't know, it's just basically what you don't want. So in this sense, if a number is negative or less than 1, you could put less than 0 actually, you would print out, or a system out print line, an invalid value. Okay, so now we have the first part filled out. Now they want to show us the steps to actually print a number into words. So let's look at those. So there's 4 steps. Number 1, you want to extract the last digit of the given number using the remainder operator. The second one, you want to convert the value of the digit that you found in step 1 into words. There are 10 possible values for the digit. Those can be 0 to 9. Print the corresponding word for each digit, i.e. print 0 if the digit is 0 or 1 if the digit is 1, and so on. So we do know from previous videos on line 2, we actually did a program already called number in word. So number 2 is pretty easy. We can just copy and paste it from the previous code. If you guys look in the upper right hand corner, if you guys didn't go over just numbers to words, which is just basically how it reads here in the second step, we're just taking single digits and converting them into words or strings. It's right there in the I in the upper right hand corner, and it's also in the description below. And while you're looking at those two things, might as well click the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner as well. So let's continue here. Number 3, remove the last digit from the number, and number 4, repeat steps 2 through 4 until the number is 0. The logic above is correct, but in its current state, the words will be printed in reverse order. For example, if the number is 234, the logic above will produce the output of 432 instead of 234. To overcome this problem, we have to write a second method called reverse. And here it will explain what reverse does. The method reverse should have an int parameter and return the reverse number int. For example, if the number passed is 234, it'll print out 432, and the method reverse should also reverse negative numbers. Also, the method reverse within the method numbers to words in order to print the number in the correct order. So what that line just basically means is we are going to call these other 2 methods that they're having us create within the numbers to words method. Okay, another thing to keep in mind is by any reverse number with leading zeros, i.e. the reverse number of 100 is 001. The logic above for the method numbers to words will print 1, but it is incorrect. It should print 100. To solve this problem, you write a third method called getDigitCount. So again, both of these methods have to be called inside of numbers to words. The method getDigitCount should have one int parameter called number and return the count of the digits in that number. If the number is negative, return -1 to indicate an invalid value. For example, if the number is a value of 100, the method getDigitCount should return a 3, since the number 100 has 3 digits. And you can see the output for the 2 given methods, or all 3 methods here, and then they give us some tips here at the bottom. Use a for loop to print the zeros after reversing the number, as in the previous example. 100 reversed becomes 1, but the method number to words should be printed 100. To get the number of zeros, count the difference between the digit count from the original number to the reverse number. Then print the words. Each word can be in its own line. For example, numbers to words 123 will be printed 1, 2, and 3. Note, you don't have to have it on separated by spaces. Note, the methods numbers to words, get digit, and reverse are public static, which they are, as you guys can see here. And we have 3 methods to write in total. So I guess it's time to get started, right? So what to do first? I guess we could just step through it and do the way it instructs us in terms of the logic, and then we can correct it as we go. So first things first is it's saying that we have to extract the last digit of the given number using the remainder operator. So first let's declare some variables. We already know we're going to have the last digit variable, and last digit equals 0. So now we have a variable for where last digit is going to be stored. Alright. And now what I'm going to do, extract the last digit of the given number using the remainder operator. Okay, so we got that, but the first thing we really need to do is just kind of start thinking, right? So it's like they said, we can already print out 100 in the correct order with words, so let's start with that. From the previous code we've done before, we are just going to work it that way. For loop controls leading zeros. Okay, so what I'm going to do first, after all this, is after that line, well, we know we're going to have to flip it in reverse, so we're going to have a variable named reverse, which is just going to store the reversed value. And then we're also going to have a value called num, which is going to hold the count from the get digit. So after it's checked to see if the number is invalid or not, we are going to start moving the number around. So I'm just going to call it moving number. So first things first is we automatically know it's going to print in reverse, so we have to have it stored in reverse. So we're going to call in the reverse method, send the number through there that we got from the user. So int reverse, the method reverse, all it's going to do is it's going to handle checking to see if just basically getting the last number, getting the numbers and reversing them around. And in order to get this done, what we're going to do is we're going to declare 2 different variables. One's going to be called int last digit. We're going to declare last digit and in reverse in these methods. We could always declare them globally, but Java doesn't really have global methods. So then we're going to create a while loop that is just going to do what I mentioned. It's going to take this number and it's going to store it in reverse. And once it stores it in reverse, we're going to grab the digits and then we will flip it around in terms of displaying it. So while number is greater than 0 and not while number is not equal to 0 and number is greater than 0, or number is greater than 0. And it's not going to work because it'll give us an infinite loop. I tried. So last digit is going to equal number mod 10, which again, we've done this before. It's just grabbing the last digit, reverse. If you guys need to know specifically how to do this, I'll also leave a link in the description of how to just solely find the last digit of a number. And then once we find the last digit of the number, we are going to multiply that by 10 to keep decrementing and getting the other digits we need. And then line 34, all it's doing is it's storing the last digit value into reverse, because when we declared it, it was only 0. And then we are going to keep dividing the number, like I said, until it reaches 0, and then the while loop will break, and then we are going to return the reverse variable. Okay, so now that we got the variable in reverse, how it shows, you move the last digit, you step through all the way into 0. So we basically have that with the reverse method. Oops. So we're going to close that up after I get rid of all these break symbols. Okay, so now that we have that, and it's going to take care of it being reversed around, now we have to handle get digit. And as we know, all get digit is basically going to do is just going to grab each individual digit. So the way we're going to call this is we're going to call it again from inside of the numbers to words method. And I forgot to declare this one, so I'm just going to declare it on the spot. Int value equals get digit count, and we're going to send the reverse number to get digit count. So now that the reverse number is in get digit count, what we are going to do next is we are going to step through, get the last digit, count the numbers, and then send back the counted value to the numbers to words method. So again, we are going to create some variables in this method. And don't hesitate at any point in this video. You guys can always pause, try to create the method yourself, and then come back and see if you got the same thing or something different than I did. And if you got something different, don't hesitate to leave it in the comments below, because coding, you can always get different answers. It all depends on how you see it as a programmer. Okay, so if the number is less than or equal to 0, well, less than 0, then we're going to return -1, because we don't want it to be less than 0. And then otherwise, I'm just going to use an if else here. You could have just used an if statement as well. So if the number equals 0, then we are going to return 1. This handles if the number has leading zeros or not, how the example talks about over there with 100. And then after that, we are going to count the number of digits in the number. And in order to do that, we are going to use another while loop. So while number is greater than 0, or number is not equal to 0, we're going to store the mod of the number into the last digit. We're going to increment count. Did I declare a count? Yes, I did. We have to increment the count so we can keep track of the numbers that are available to us, and then we are going to divide by 10. Last but not least, of course, we have to return count. Okay, now that we've returned count, we've moved we know the count of the number, we know the number was reversed. So what we do now is, what we're going to do is we are going to display the number. But first, we have to make sure that we're able to get the count the same. We're going to get the count as well of the number, but not reversed. So we had to send it through regularly and send it through reversed, because here in this next part, within there, it has to compare the two that we're going to set up here in a minute to make sure that they equal. And then once they do equal, we'll know that we did everything correct. Now the thing we do have to do real quick, or that I want to do before I do the easy part, since this is really more of controlling from int to string or words. Okay, so in order to control the leading zeros, what we have to do is we have to compare the two values that we got. So we have to compare num, which is actually number, and we have to compare value, which is the reverse value of the number. First things first, we have to check and see if the value is not equal to num. Then what we're going to do is we have to basically check and see if there's any zeros and handle them accordingly. So we're going to use a for loop here, int I equals 0, where I is less than total. And you increment I. And then you would just system out 0. The point of the print line here is to show that it was indeed a negative number. I mean a 0 that we were dealing with here. If number equals 0, then syst out 0. Again, these are just things that's kind of here to help you control everything so you can see what's going on in case of an error. Okay, so now let's do the really easy part, which is basically, and I'm going to actually show you guys, I'm going to literally just take it from the other code and switch a few things around. So let me pull up my numbers to number in Word program in a new window. And we're just going to take this switch statement. Now, yes, I could type it all up, but this is a whole lot faster. It saves us both time. Control C if you're on Windows. Paste. Alright. We got all that squeezed in there. Now, of course, we're getting an error, but that's not anything new. The number that's going to be checked here in the switch statement, and actually it's going to be the last digit that's going to be checked. Wrong value. Okay. But we also know that we have to take into account we're really working with the negative number here. So while reverse is not equal to 0, or reverse is greater than 0, then we're going to line everything up real quick. So it's saying that our get digit is out of bounds. Let's see, error. We have two little semicolons. Okay. No. Something else is wrong. Does this have a closing bracket? Yes. This probably doesn't have a closing parentheses. Nope. Still getting a problem. That's sometimes the problem with kind of coding everywhere. You get a lot of errors. The variable reverse is already defined. Oh, so I forgot to close this method here. Yeah, see? It took everything and it's not supposed to. So, in order to solve this, we just close it where it's supposed to be closed, which is right here. No, right there. Right here. There we go. Boom. Boom. Now let's scroll back up. Yeah, so now we have too many parentheses, it's looking like. It is so initialized. It's right there. So it's acting like, I need to stop hitting these breakpoints. It's acting like last digit isn't declared. Let's do it a little differently. Last digit equals reverse mod 10, and then we are gonna step through reverse and keep breaking it down, as I like to call it, until we can't anymore. And then we are going to store last digit there again, see if we don't get any errors now. Doesn't look like we do. Let's save it. Sorry guys, I forgot to cut off my email. Okay, so it's looking like we got everything working. Everything, no more errors. Okay, let's set up the main method. Now, with the main method, as we all know, it's really the easiest part. We're just gonna call numbers to words, and we're just gonna call whatever number we wanna call. And we can see here we have 4 different examples. So I'll try 100 first, just to take care of the leading zeros. See if we handled that correctly. And we did, we got 100. Now if we try -12, it should give us invalid. Invalid and then other, just because it did loop through, it's still stepping through the number. There. To double check. Alright, so if you guys learned anything new, go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe. And we are going to do one last thing before we end this video. We are going to send all of this that we just put together into the Udemy tester. Now, I don't know about you. I hope it works on the first go. Not 100. Like the problem, even though the problem is 100. Okay, we got a few errors. It says an unexpected parentheses. And there might just be that I did one too many parentheses. Let's see. It says line 108, yeah. So I might have copied one too many parentheses for them. Then it says the value of 0 is expected. Oh, if just zeros ran. I thought I fixed that. Hey everybody, we're back again, and as we all know, sometimes with coding we get frustrated and we just have to take a moment to step back. So even though I've done this before and I was trying to just code it with you guys, I continue to get errors. So I decided to step back and work on it, and I got another error here, which is, it's just like a spelling error. So I'm just gonna correct that one, and then I'm gonna go through it a little bit with you guys so you guys can kind of see the little corrections I did during my little short break. And we're gonna wrap this video up. Alright, so with that correction, let's run it again. I'm testing the number 0. We can do 4. And we get it. So now let's copy all this over again to Udemy and see if we get it to work now correctly. Go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe. Any questions, go ahead and leave them at the bottom. Alright, you already know, leave a like, leave a like. Dun dun. Oh, we got a lot more errors this time. If the return type on line 10, let's see. Here, let me reset it again, because sometimes it's just the copy and paste over. I will copy it from right here. We got the get first digit, the reverse, and then the numbers to words, or number to words. Paste it here. Check the solution. And we got it. So, let me go over real quick with you guys a little bit what I did here. So, as you guys see right there at the top in lines 16 through 19, we are verifying that the number is not less than 0. As long as the number is greater than 0, we are going to go to the reverse number method, which is going to reverse the number how we talked about before. Just a little example, how we saw over when we were reading it, it would take 234 and convert it into 432. Just because when we convert the number into words on line 27, it'll actually, when it prints out, it'll print it in the correct order of 234 rather than 432. And then what we're going to do on line 24 to 25 is we are going to check to make sure to get the number of digits from the reversed number. And then in here on lines 29 down to 66, we are just converting that number into words. And then down here At the end of the numbers towards method, we are going to again call get digit count number, where it's going to also get the number of digits of the original number. Then on line 76 to 85, we're going to compare the two values, and then we are going to count for the difference, and whatever the difference is, in this case, we would consider it as a 0, using 100 as an example, and it'll fill in the zeros accordingly. Then down here we have the reverse and the get digit methods, which were explained at the beginning when we were coding. So again, I want to thank you guys for getting this far in the video. Please leave a like. Please comment down below if you guys learned anything new, or you guys want me to try something else in a different language. And just remember to have a great day and keep on coding. See you guys next time. Bye!